Before you ever listen to anyone speak, I think it's very important for you to know who you're listening to. Now, the reason I'm making this video is because I know that there is someone out there who used to be exactly like me. Someone who was very ambitious, who was afraid of being 40 years old and not ever reaching his potential because he was so afraid of being the person that he was. And he was someone who was very anxious, who was very insecure, who had very low self-esteem, who knew he had this potential, he knew he was special, but he just lived with this expectation and realized that nothing was ever changing. And it was crazy because even though I did believe that I could do so much more and had this potential inside of me, there was still this doubt that could I ever achieve it? And I remember when I would feel frustrated that I wanted to grow out of it, and people would tell me, you're okay the way that you are. And that thing used to frustrate me so much because I didn't want to accept that I was a depressed 19-year-old who didn't really like himself, who wasn't proud of himself, who didn't respect himself. And someone was here to tell me that I had to accept that that was who I was. And that's why I'm making this video, because I want you to realize that I made the changes that I want. I was 25 years old and I felt like I was wasting time, and I felt like I was too old for change, that my dreams were so far away. But I could have been 26 and still in that same situation, 27 and made it all the way to 40. You can change the moment you decide to. And that's why I'm making this video. This isn't going to be a short video. It's going to be a long video. I don't have a script. I'm speaking to you straight from the heart because this is something that means so much to me. So for those that don't know who I am, my name is Brandon, also known as Sunwa on the internet. And the reason I use the name Sunwa is because that's my Chinese middle name. So I was raised in London, which is why I have the accent. And my mom's Colombian, my dad's Chinese. And my dad had a Chinese takeaway. Now there's two things that made me very insecure as a child. I was raised as a Jehovah's Witness, and I was so afraid to express my faith. I was so afraid of people finding out, because back then there was a lot of like hate and like people mock people that were Jehovah's Witnesses because they would knock on doors. That was one of them. And the other one was the story from why I used the name Sunwa. So my dad had a Chinese takeaway. At the age of probably like 12, 13, we had to move underneath this Chinese takeaway. And that's already when I started to feel very self-conscious, because to go to school, I had to leave through this main door and make my way to school. But on this corner there was like a sweet shop, and in the sweet shop there was other kids from other schools, and they would always look at me, and maybe they weren't thinking anything, but my self-esteem was so low that I would assume that they were making fun of me. So I would dread going to school, that I would wake up half an hour earlier to go to school so no one was there, or I would leave half an hour later if I ever woke up late. I was so insecure. I didn't want to stand out. I didn't want any attention on me. I didn't want to ever have someone put the light on me, because I was so afraid of being caught out, of being rejected, of being the different one. I just wanted to be normal. I just wanted to be like everyone else. So I tried to be like everyone else by fitting in with everyone else. I didn't want to be that person. I felt like I was being such a fake to myself. I've always wanted to be successful. I've always been ambitious. I wanted to be successful financially, mentally, and physically, in all areas. And I was so afraid of ever saying that I wanted more, because it would make people very uncomfortable. And I didn't realize back then, but it's because most people were like me, that didn't believe in themselves, but they wanted to save themselves the embarrassment from ever saying that they wanted to, just in case they didn't get there, that they didn't look like a fool. Now, fast forward, I'm working in retail, and I'm working as an Uber Eats delivery driver, delivering food all throughout London while it was raining. And I was very frugal with my money. I didn't want to spend money. There'll be times where I would have like a big order and I would cancel the order of doing Uber Eats, and I would just keep the food, and that would be like my lunch for the day. I remember one day my dad called me, and this is when I was living alone, because I was working at a Italian restaurant. So from the morning, 2 days, I was taking up my personal training course, and then 2 days, the rest of the week I was working at this restaurant. So I was working in the morning at some cafe that he had, and even at some restaurant cleaning place, and he didn't even pay me. Long story short, I got to a phase where I was just smoking and drinking, and I was just so like lost in life. And I remember praying to God. I said, I don't want this to be my life. I still have these dreams and ambitions. I know I want more, but time was just going by and I'm just still in the same place. And I prayed to God and my dad called me. And my dad called me and he looked much older. And at that moment I said, Dad, let me call you back. Hanged up the phone and I started crying. I started crying because I realized then that I still have these dreams, and the way that I'm going, I'm never gonna get there. And from that day on, I promised myself that I'll never smoke and drink, and I stopped smoking and drinking. And that's when I started to go to the gym, and I focused on going to the gym for the very simple reason that it just allowed me to not be at home, gave me something to do, and I saved money because I only had to pay a £29 pure gym membership. I always thank my parents because they always made sure I had food on my plate, a roof over my head, and gave me everything that I ever wanted, everything that I ever needed. But I had the perfect blueprint of the life that I didn't want to live. I didn't want to live just paycheck to paycheck. I didn't want to live just having this limited mindset where I had to choose this or I had to choose that, and lived so stressed out because of money. And not because of money in itself, because I wanted freedom. And I realized that when you want freedom, you need money. And I've always wanted to help people, and I realized that yes, I can say that I want to help people, but I need money to do it. And that's when I realized I have to change, because right now I'm not doing it. Working in retail is going to do it for me. Doing Uber Eats is going to do it for me. And something had to change. And I went back to this time when my dad had this surgery done, and the doctor said to him, you have to go 10 days without working. And my dad, the second day, was on this chair with his surgery, and he was cooking food. And my dad never wanted to go to the hospital. We would always tell him, go get yourself checked, get this done, and he would never go. And I didn't realize why, and it was because it was money. We needed money. Why? Because you have bills, you have expenses, you have a family to look after, and I completely get it. But then I also used to beat myself up, like, why don't we have like a better business? Why don't we have this? And then I realized that my parents changed the generational line forever. My dad came from Malaysia. My mum came from Colombia, not knowing the language, coming to a new place so far away from home, being looked down under, being cleaners, being a waiter. And just, I didn't like the fact that that had to be me. And I think growing up, the truth is, I hated feeling rejected for many reasons from the ones I just told you. And just because of that as well, I wanted to be the difference. And I don't know why I gave myself that responsibility, but I've just always felt like I had to be the one to change it. And that's when it clicked. In 2020, from going to the gym, I went to Colombia. I just came back, and I promised myself I wanted to downsize and just start saving money to start actually doing something with my life. And then my life just, before that, let me cut back to that actually. I remember I was just working part-time in retail. Then I got a job as a personal trainer, and then I had a girlfriend at the time. And my life just kept on feeling like the same thing. It felt like the same thing. It was go to work, Monday to Friday, retail, weekends, personal trainer, and then I'll just see my girlfriend once a week. And it just felt the same thing. I wanted more, but time was just going by. And the same thing was happening. 2020, just before 2020, I went to Colombia and I said, I'm going to downsize, start making things happen. I downsized into a 1-bedroom shared flat. I downsized into this room where I got so ill because the landlord was just always putting notes underneath my door. Like, he was someone who was very unusual, giving me tutorials on how to close the door, where I got very sick and I ended up getting like a whole rash on my body where doctors couldn't explain what it was. And I got very ill. I'm going to put some pictures on here. 2020, COVID happened. And I left to Spain, left everything behind, left relationships, families, and I had no career path. Had no idea what to do, didn't go to university, had a bit of money saved up, tried trading, tried crypto, and I tried to chase quick success. And then I started posting content on the internet, and I got a bit of success. I got what I wanted, the attention that I never had before, the acceptance that I never had before, attention from girls, and it felt amazing. It felt good. And then after, I realized that this is making me feel very empty. Like, is this all I'm meant for? To be a pretty face? And it made me very, very insecure. And I realized that I still want more, but I'm living in the same loop. Then it always goes back to one day where I just kept on feeling sorry for myself in the single bed at my mother's house, where I just kept on crying, feeling sorry for myself, feeling so depressed. Couldn't do anything. I was waiting for the right time, waiting to feel good. And then I remember one time that I was okay with the thought of not being alive. And I don't know what happened in that moment. Something switched. I can go back exactly to where I was. It was probably around like 9 p.m. and it was getting kind of dark. And something switched. I realized no one is coming to save me. I am 25 years old and I've been complaining that I'm going to be someone super successful physically, mentally, financially, that I'm gonna be this person that's gonna get my family out of the situation, someone that's gonna be successful, and I'm here complaining, waiting to be saved, and no one was coming to save me. Now this video is for you because I want to show you exactly how I managed to have this mindset shift that changed my life, because I want you to change yours, and it's managed to transform so many of my clients' lives, and this is some of the results.
I shoot this video to express my gratitude towards Sunwa. So I started working with him 3 weeks ago. I used to be a very shy person, even to talk in front of camera, because English ain't my first language. I used to live in constant fear and doubt, insecurities, and since working with him, he changed all of it. Like, my whole life improved, mind, body and spirit. More opportunities has arisen since working with him. I tripled my income, which is insane. I cannot believe it even now. So since working with him, all my life has changed.
Hey guys, my name is Juan Hinojosa Jr. And the reason I'm making this video is because I wanted to express my gratitude towards Sunwa. He has helped me gain confidence. He has helped me change my perspective of life. And I really wanted to thank him for this.
Quick video for my boy Brandon. Honestly, he was a huge inspiration for me. He helped me get like my life back on track. Like, I was wasting so much time doing nothing. I got a job. I started learning like new skills, started working out. I'm like literally in the best shape of my life ever.
I just wanted to record a quick video for Sunwa Brandon, and I have to say I've completely changed the way that I think about things. He's made me realize that I have so much more potential than I ever knew, and through this process I feel like my whole entire mindset, life is shifting right beneath.
This video is to recommend my brother and friend Brandon.
Hit this story just from the last story that I just posted to my brother Brandon, aka known as Sunwa, on Instagram. He is the main reason why I'm confident. I basically unlocked my full potential now, where I know what to do with my life. Whatever he preaches on his Instagram is not just because he's got fame, it's he's actually that type of person. So if you want to go and elevate your life, go give him a follow, because he elevated my life. And if you want to get into social media, just go and see what he does, because he will help you and unlock your full potential. Take care.
Massive shout out to my guy Sunwa.
And he's truly so passionate about what he does. I loved working with him.
I can proudly tell you I'm going daily to the gym. I'm consistent. I don't depend on my emotions anymore. That's the biggest. And I actually started working on my dreams.
Look no further, Sunwa is the guy. Let's go.
You just listen to this for extra dopamine, stay scrolling on your phone, stop complaining, and just waiting for tomorrow. That's why your life never changes. Now stick to the end of this video, and I promise you, if you apply what I'm going to tell you for the next 30 days, you're going to be a very different person. The first thing you need is momentum. You need to stop breaking patterns, because you are stuck on autopilot. The person that you are is a build-up of your daily actions, which are now on autopilot. They are now your habits. How do you change them? You have to be more aware. At the start, it's going to feel very unnatural, because natural is keeping you in that same situation where you don't want to be like. That's why you have to be disciplined and have self-control, because you are disciplined. You go to a job that you hate. If you're overweight, you're disciplined with making sure that you overeat. If you have vices, you smoke or you drink, you're disciplined that you make sure that you don't miss that. So what do you have to do? You have to focus that discipline into something else. So how do you do that? By building self-control. How do you build self-control? You need to have systems to show you that you are able to overcome that emotion in that moment where that stimulus comes. Let me give you an example. When you want to go to the gym, you don't feel like going to the gym, but you know you have to go to the gym. So guess what ends up happening? You end up having a little voice in your head and you listen to it, but all that voice does was convince you not to do it when you knew you had to do. So you think too much. So you have to show yourself how to take action. Well, how? The same way footballers train all of their life for a 90-minute match. Well, you have to have live training. How do you do that? Wake up early. And I know this sounds super stupid. Why am I going to wake up early? Why do you think I wake up every single day? When you wake up every single day at 5 a.m, it teaches you not to listen to that emotion despite how uncomfortable it is, because sleeping never feels comfortable waking up at an uncomfortable time. But the moment you show yourself that you can, you realize that you can do a very uncomfortable thing. Then you ask yourself, what else can I do? Then from that, you've shown yourself you can take action. The thing that most people lack. And the reason most people lack action is because they feel so entitled to an outcome. Oh, I want to lose weight. Oh, I want to retire my parents. Oh, I want to start this business. I want. You think about doing the thing. You overwhelm yourself searching for information about the thing, but you're not doing the thing. You need to do the thing. But guess what happens? You think about how it can go wrong, you project into the future, creating fear, and then you go back into the past because, oh, the reason I'm thinking about this is because I didn't go to university, I didn't do this. Now you go into the past, you ain't going to the past, the future doesn't exist. The only thing that does exist is now, but you're not even living in it because you're going to these time frames, and now you're starting to feel overwhelmed, which eventually all you do is go back to a vice, go to lust, or whatever escapism that you have, and then you lose the only thing that exists, the now. You watching this video now. So you have to accustom yourself to be grateful. When you're grateful is when you can take action. And taking action is going to take you closer to this future that you want. So the key is to always stay within this 24-hour period to take action, because action can only be done in the now. You wake up at 5 a.m. It teaches you to take action now. Then after that, you make sure you get in shape. And why is getting in shape one of the most important things that you can do? Because it teaches you to be proud of yourself, and it teaches you that you are capable of accomplishing something that takes time. It shows that you are patient. You put the work in, you don't see the result now, and you see the result tomorrow. That's what you guys need to do, because that removes self-doubt. There is no human on this earth that wakes up saying, I want to be fat than I was yesterday, or have less money than I had yesterday. No one does. So you have to be honest with yourself. And when you are honest, that's when you allow yourself to look at your weaknesses and then make them your strengths. So many people are so focused on their strengths. What I did last year, what I used to do. You are not what you used to do. You are who you are now. So who are you now? Just think about the life that you would hate to live. Write it down on paper. Now think about the life that you would love to live, the outcome that you want. Now every single day you are living in alignment with the life that you would hate to live or the life that you would love to live. Now understand that the reason most people procrastinate is because they think they will have a tomorrow. The same reason why you don't ever start anything is because you want a guarantee that if you do this, you will have another outcome. The only guarantee on this earth is that one day you will have your last breath. Every day that goes by, every day that you waste is proof that you don't care about that thing that you want as much as you say that you do. Now read books, watch videos like this. The reason you need to read books is because you need to expand your perspective on life. The thing is, you see life from one lens that it stops you from seeing it the other, which is why sometimes you can get so overwhelmed, you can feel like it's the end of the world. Every problem that you have, someone has gone through, and yet they still kept on going forward. So the question is, why can't you? That's why I read books, because it allows me to gain years of experience in a short amount of time. And the only way you're ever going to make things happen is by being a confident person. So how do you become confident? By never breaking your word. And that's why I always say we do not miss, is a mentality. Always do the things that you say you are going to do, because that removes doubt at the back of your mind. Just imagine yourself as a separate entity. Imagine you telling your friend, let's meet up at this place tomorrow. They don't show up. They give you an excuse. The next day you do the same thing, they give you another excuse. The third day they give you another excuse. The fourth day you're going to have doubts. The fifth day you're not even going to believe them anymore. That's what you do with yourself. Just remember, in the good times, that's who you think you are. In the bad times, that's who you truly are. Now, once you've created this system, once you've created these habits, this is your motor. Now, all you have to do is focus on this outcome that you want. And this is how I went from working in retail, doing Uber Eats as a delivery driver, to now working full-time with my personal brand, helping people do exactly what I managed to do. If you're at a point of your life where you're tired of making excuses, you're tired of procrastinating, you know you have so much more potential to give, you want to create the person that you're proud of, but you've just been living off your excuses, and you want me to hold you accountable, you want me to speak directly with you where I go through what's been happening, we create a program which is specifically made for you, so you can have the same results as many of my clients. If you're ready to create the person that you're proud of, if you're actually serious about making changes, DM me the word ready on Instagram. If you already managed to overcome a problem, if you have a skill set that you want to share with the world to create a meaningful personal brand so it can reach millions of people, so your younger self can thank you for it. If you want me to give you the blueprint on how I managed to create my social media platforms to over 600,000 followers, get over 20 million views every single month, impact millions of people, and then turn it into a business where I help others the same way I help myself. If this sounds like you, DM me the word brand on Instagram and I'll see if I can help you. With that being said, I hope I gave you enough value. Please put down in the comment section below what was your biggest takeaway. If you haven't liked and subscribed, it makes a big difference. That being said, see you guys in the next video.